Bored and annoyed.
Hello. Hello. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about on today's show.
It's just a nice way to say hello, though.
Yes, I just couldn't think of anything. I was put on the spot, and that's what came out.
Welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed.
Yep.
I'm home with the movies.
And I'm Jackson, and this is a special episode because I am out of town currently getting married. So by the time you listen to this, I will be close to being married, I think. Depending on when this is being released.
I don't even know the wedding song. What's the wedding song? How does that go?
I don't think, is there a song?
Are you going to play Ghost?
Song? That's what I should do. Yeah. That's kind of what I was pushing for, but it's not happening.
Is it like Seal or something?
No, I don't know what she's playing or what we're playing.
Oh, it's a surprise?
I think it's an instrumental of an Alicia Keys song.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, hon? Yeah. What's the song that we're playing for the wedding?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the name of the song? The Walk Down the Aisle song.
I don't know.
Is it that Alicia Keys thing?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I think so.
Butterflies.
Butterflies.
Yeah. So
are we keeping the yelling in?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, they won't be there. So. All right.
You didn't invite the fans.
Yeah. Well, make it to the Bahamas and find us, and you're good.
That's a free invitation right there.
Yep, that's true. Just you don't get any food and you pay for yourself for everything.
All right. That's exciting.
So basically they can do that at any time they want.
And they'll be listening to this at the time that you're there.
That's true, probably. So what are we talking about today?
We're talking top 2019 films so far.
So far. And we are not, because I've seen a lot of these going around, we're not saying the cutoff was the end of June, right? July is in on this?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And the other thing is we're also discussing a sort of an interesting topic, something that kind of has sort of snuck up on us with The Lion King here. It pounced on us, some might say.
We've been stampeded by comments online.
Yes.
Yeah.
There has been a shift in the wind direction.
Sure.
And basically now we're going to discuss the idea of remakes. Do you want it to be, extremely faithful to the point where one might say it's hollow or unoriginal? Or do you want some might call a bastardization, something that has changes, but maybe are changes for the worse? Yeah. Which one do you want?
So should we just dive into this? We'll start with this.
Do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, let's start with this.
All right.
So I would prefer, basically, I like the remake in name only movies where it's like there's a loose inspiration from the original, but the director and the creators have done their own thing. Mm-hmm. I think of last year's Suspiria as a good example of this. Okay.
But I don't think so what you're talking about is, I think that's the third option. I think that's the best option.
Okay.
It's the one that I threw out with all these Robin Hood remakes. I've been saying for a long time, why don't we do like a Robin Hood in a steampunk world,
in space,
or anything to make it different.
Yeah. Okay. Got
different
it.
setting.
So you're talking about they're doing a remake of the movie, but they're just making these like changes.
Just make changes to make it its own thing, like what you're saying. I would say, and I'm not saying like you can do that for everything. Like a Mulan movie needs to be, the setting needs to stay the same.
Sure. Now, what would be an example of this? Would this be like RoboCop? Would RoboCop be an example of this? The newest RoboCop, the remake from a few years back?
Where it's kind of similar, but not.
Yeah, he's still the same guy. He got killed in a whatever, and they brought him back to be the RoboCop. Right. But it isn't RoboCop, and it doesn't feel like RoboCop.
Right. I mean, there is a certain amount of That's a movie that I would actually say kind of fits into the latter option that we gave, which is a slight bastardization because it misses the point.
Okay, so I would take God. That's a tough predicament then.
That's
because
what I'm
what's
saying.
the point of the first option? There's none, right?
Right. Well, that's the thing is we sort of have to just secede that a remake is going to happen, whether it should or not. It's happening.
Right.
So now what do you want? Do you want it to be faithful and soulless or changed and a bastardization?
And this is coming off the heels of all of the comments basically saying that the new Lion King looks great, but there is no purpose in its existence because it's just like basically a shot-for-shot remake. So
yeah.
Historically, I hate shot-for-shot remakes.
Well, the Psycho one comes to mind.
The Psycho, The Omen was another bad one where it's like there was absolutely no reason why they made this.
Right.
It's a little different here though because it's completely different as far as what it's going to look like. Like those are both shot-for-shot remakes of movies that were on film and they had actors and whatever. This is a cartoon being brought to life.
Right.
So it could be
you could argue that there's a little bit more of a purpose behind it.
Right.
Yeah, I have a hard time. I have to let you know, I'm approaching this with a completely open mind. I have no idea where I fall on this.
Okay.
I do know that I don't want what they gave us in Aladdin. And there's also, I know a lot of people still really like the Beauty and the Beast remake.
Yes.
There's a YouTuber, Lindsay Ellis. She does this great she tears it apart.
Okay, because I liked that one quite a bit. That's probably my favorite one so far.
If you like it and you don't want to not like it, don't watch her video.
It's that bad. She tears it apart?
She tears it apart to the point where you're like, why did they make these decisions? Who's running the show on these things? Because she points out things like things that are set up that are not followed through on.
Okay.
Things that are and it's the same thing with Aladdin. This is my problem, is that there are mainstays from the original. They have to stay because of faithfulness.
Sure.
But when you've changed certain things, these other changes are now obsolete.
They don't make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's possible I missed them just because I'm like, my brain is going to the original. So.
Right. Well, and we have that nostalgia drug going on right now. So it's really easy to say, I love the character design and I love the music and I like the setting and I like the story. So everything else can be swept under the rug. But I do have I don't know. I guess I'll know when I see The Lion King.
Okay.
But right now, I think I'm falling on I'd rather you not fuck with something that's not broken. But then I guess the whole point is if you're not going to change it at all, what's the point?
Yeah, and I still think like the Beauty and the Beast remake is so close to the original version. It's like they didn't change enough for me to even feel like I still feel like it's a little soulless.
It is.
One of them. The one I don't know the most, like as far as like the cartoon version, was the Jungle Book.
Right.
And I don't know how faithful that was to the original version of the Jungle Book, but the Jungle Book was probably the best movie they've made.
It was, as far as the remakes go. And I think what that one did was maybe switch up the tone. And I think maybe that's the answer, is you keep kind of the same story, but you switch up the tone. You do it in a new... It wasn't, they weren't singing all the time. They had a little bit of bare necessities in there for 30 seconds. And did they do the King Louis song?
Yes.
Okay, that was the only one that they did, right?
I think so. Beyond the remake concern with The Lion King, I guess the biggest concern that I would have is how do you make real animals look like characters?
Right.
That's going to be the interesting part.
Yep.
Because I've heard that as well, that like it's tough because they don't have a face. They don't have facial expressions.
Well, and they can't emote the way that they want us to emote.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
But yeah, I'm excited as hell to see it. I just want to see it on the big screen. I'm pumped to see it.
I mean, I don't know if the listeners were expecting like a full-on answer to this question.
No, I don't have one, really.
I mean, I would love to know what the listeners think on this one.
I would agree. I suppose, like you said, so there's option 3, which I think we've agreed is the best one, which is you're just doing your own thing with the inspiration of the source material.
Right, like you're taking the bare bones story ideas.
Right.
And new spin on it completely. You don't have to have the same songs. You don't have to even have the same character designs. I mean, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's good too, because it's like, if you're going in to see a remake like that, like you're not depending on nostalgia, you might even be upset if you're looking for a nostalgic experience.
Right.
Which is fine. I think.
Is in that remake, I do think that is, we've decided that is easily the best option, because you're avoiding, like, if you're looking for nostalgia, the trailer will clearly tell you this is not a remake.
Correct.
I mean, it's a reboot or whatever you want to call it.
Sure. It's technically a remake, but it's completely different.
Yes.
But yeah, oh, God, that's tough, because I do hate the shot-for-shot remake. I would almost rather have a worse movie than watch an exact replica of a movie.
I
that
think
sounds stupid, but
I almost thought that we would have this happen, but I think, as we're talking about it, my thesis statement would be on this, and why I fall on the opposite side would be, yes, it might be a shot-for-shot remake, but at least they didn't break something.
True.
Whereas something else will be broken. So at the end of the day, I'll be mad if it's a broken take. I'll just feel like I wasted my time. So I don't think I'll be mad. I'd just be like...
See, either way, I don't want to get... I try not to get mad about it, because the original still exists.
Right.
If we see this Lion King movie and there's just no value in ever watching that version again... Whatever. Yep. Like I saw the RoboCop remake. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Total Recall remake. Joke.
Yeah.
But they didn't make me mad, even though they fall into that other category, because it's like, okay, well, I knew what this was going to be.
And I'll tell you just quick little explanation as to why I will get mad. It's the fact that there are people that are so incompetent that work in Hollywood. That's what makes me mad, is that there are people that are getting paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to make these soulless cash grabs, and they break them. They actually make them worse. That makes me mad.
Yeah, that could be true.
That's the reason. Because Aladdin's always going to be there. I love that first movie.
But if they make a soulless cash grab and it's just a shot-for-shot remake, it's hard for them to completely break it because it was so good in the first place. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and
I mean, it's true.
And there's a flip to that, which is, you could say that I could be pissed the fact that somebody just made a soulless remake that has no originality and they got paid millions of dollars. I guess I could be pissed about that too.
Come to think of it, I need to take back my statement. I was wrong, because The Omen, when I saw that remake, I was pissed. And that was like a shot-for-shot remake.
Right.
I felt like it was like a joke that it was made. It annoyed me. It annoyed me that I went to the theater and watched it.
Okay.
Because the original one's so good. And, and the thing is, see, this is where it might have pissed me off, is like this new Lion King, it seems like there's a reason for its existence. It's the fact that you're showing off, you're flexing your technological muscles that you can even do this now.
Right,
Whereas this Omen, it was like, I don't hate the guy who plays Ray Donovan, but he's not Gregory Peck. So it's like you're watching it and you're like, literally everything about this is worse than the original version. You made a worse copy.
Yeah.
It's like when the ink is low on, the copier's low on ink and you make a copy.
Yeah.
Like that's what it would be comparable to. Liev Schreiber, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we both made some good points on this. I think I still don't have an answer.
No, that's good though. Fine. Whatever.
But let's get into our top 5 of the year. Let's start with the honorable mentions.
Sure. Yeah. So we each have 2 honorable mentions.
Correct.
Mine is I've got 2 here. They're both horror movies.
Oh.
I have The Hole in the Ground and the one that I talked about in shit we watched last week, or Crawl. Yeah.
Okay. So now what's The Hole in the Ground? What's that one?
The Hole in the Ground is the one where it's an Irish movie, independent film, and basically this woman's son like runs away one night, and when he comes back, he's different.
Okay.
And it is fucking good.
You did mention this one on the podcast. I do remember that now.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Creepy. Like, actually a good, like, thematic, story. It's good.
Right. And what's keeping those out of your top 5?
The top five.
Just the top five are that great.
And Crawl's just there because of how fun it was. I can't in good conscience put it above these other ones in my top five. I just can't.
All right. Fair enough. This makes me sound like a child, but
You are one.
I am a big child. My honorable mentions are both kids movies.
Oh.
Toy Story 4 and How to Train Your Dragon.
How to
Drain Your Dragon. I learned that a long time ago.
Both great.
Yeah, both. Yeah, including Draining Your Dragon. All three, just great things. Yeah, they're both great movies. I think Toy Story 4, seeming a little unnecessary, kind of knocks it out of the top five for me.
Yeah, it was a very light Toy Story movie. It didn't have the scope of the others, I would say.
And I would say Dragons 3, its opening 20 minutes or so, I think kind of keeps it out of the top five because the beginning was a bit slow.
I was nervous at the beginning that it wasn't going to be good.
Yes, it started out almost like a direct to DVD movie.
Sure.
Then it really picks up.
Yeah,
but
it's great.
Yeah, but so top five or number five.
I went with Midsummer. This one just came out. This is the Ari Aster one. We had a Bored and Annoyed Reviews episode on it. I thought it was really good. Had this been last year, Hereditary would have been number one and wouldn't have lost its spot. So I don't think it's nearly as good as Hereditary. And I can't guarantee that this is even going to be in the top 10 at the end of the year.
Right.
Like a couple of these other ones I would assume are going to be. But I thought it was really good.
Right. I did want to ask you about that one. My question is, so I've been thinking about this, they've been saying that this has a better audience rating. People are enjoying this more.
I don't get it.
My thought is that do you think that the people, because this had a lower box office than Hereditary by a decent margin.
Okay.
Do you think it's the fact that the people who didn't like Hereditary just figured, I don't like his style of movie, and they didn't come back, and that's affecting the percentage?
I think that's part of it, but I can say that the two people we went and saw this with both went to Hereditary with us, did not seem to like Hereditary, and really liked this.
Okay.
So in my small pool, that's not the case, but I think you're right. I think at this point, people knew kind of what they were getting into.
Yeah.
It was all over the trailers. If you saw it was directed by the Hereditary guy and you liked Hereditary, you're more likely to see it. You're probably right.
I do think that plays a factor in it, but I mean, we don't know for sure.
But I do think it's crazy and interesting, and I would love other viewer feedback would be good, is if you didn't like Hereditary and liked this, why?
Yeah, I would like to hear that.
I'm curious at, because I don't understand that.
I do think part of it, and I don't want to speak for people who liked them both, because I thought both were fine.
Right.
I did think Hereditary was better, but I think they were both fine. I think part of it is the fact that I think it goes back to my complaint about them, which is I know what they are based on the trailers.
Yeah.
But I feel like Midsummer was even more clear as to what it was going to be.
Hereditary, I don't know if it's fair to say that people knew what Hereditary was, because there was there was a twist in Hereditary that did change the movie.
Yes.
And it was, but Midsummer, you're right. I mean, you basically know it's going to be a descent into crazy town at the fucking coven or whatever. Yeah. I would agree.
So as we've, we've been on a little bit of a horror kick so far on the list, other than my kids' movies. But Us is my number 5.
Us was really good.
Us is a fantastic movie. It's still not as good as his first Get Out. Yeah. So
it's very different though.
It's very different.
So I think I mentioned when we reviewed it that it's probably not as good, but I might have liked it better just because it's more my style. Maybe, I don't know, less predictable maybe.
And I think that part of that also goes down to the trailers.
Yeah, that's true.
Get Out had the Midsummer trailer. You knew exactly what the movie was.
Yes.
This Us did not have that.
No. but it was really good. It would be in my top 10. If we were doing a top 10, it's in there easily.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Great performance by Lupita Nyong'o. It takes a little bit to get going.
The ladies in horror these days.
They
seems
are
to be ridiculous.
It's a real role reversal when you think about like what they were with slashers, and now all of a sudden it's women are the leads in horror.
They're like real. Well, they were always the leads, but they were like the running away. Yeah,
yeah, but they're like real characters.
Yes,
it's interesting.
Which is what kind of separates like the good older horror movies too.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So what's your number 4?
My number 4 would be Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was great.
It's a great movie.
That'll be it until we get to yours, because I know yours, it's got to be on yours.
Yeah.
It's got to be. So we'll just talk about it then.
Spoilers. It's on the Marvel shills list. My number 4 is Hotel Mumbai.
Okay. We can not talk about that too.
Okay.
Fair warning. Spoilers.
Fantastic.
We'll wait.
Fantastic
That's
movie.
great. Yeah.
Number 3 for you.
Fighting with My Family. So what's her name is in 2 of the top 5 movies.
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh.
Pew.
Yep. She is in
Do you
2
think
of my
she does
top
that?
5.
I mean, that
No.
has to have.
I can't
like
imagine.
that's happening on set, right? Pew 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 pew.
Or people are walking by her and going, "Ooh, Pugh. She stinks." But yeah, no, it's
Stinks
great.
with talent.
It's a great family movie. It's funny. It's got good like emotional, dramatic moments in it. It's a fun movie. Some of it is outside of the realm of belief. Like I don't believe it,
Right.
Because it's based on a true story. But I don't, but whatever. It's fun. The Rock's fun in it as The Rock. Yeah, it's a really good movie. I thought it was great. I was shocked by how great it was.
Yep.
So that's number 3.
I really struggled with the early parts of my list here.
Okay.
Number 1 and number 2 were very solid and very easy in their place. But number 3, this could have been switched with Hotel Mumbai.
Okay.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay.
I really just dug the shit out of this movie. I loved the fact that the first hour is a different movie than the rest of the movie.
Sure.
I like the character work. I like Mysterio. I like the end credit scenes. I think the music is better than the first. I think it's the action sequences are better. It's just
the action sequences were fucking awesome.
Yes.
It's an awesome movie.
It's just a lot of fun. It's perfect escapist fun.
Yes, I would agree that it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Good old
perfect. It's just
Marvel.
yeah. Good old Marvel. The
Sons of
old
bitches.
Standby.
Just can't stop them. My number 2 is Alita. I loved that fucking movie.
We can tag team because that's my
Your
number 2.
Yeah, it's great. It's just fucking awesome. It's not
awesome.
perfect, but it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, it's awesome in like the action is great, legitimately great, not cheesy.
Oh, it's fucking awesome action.
But the stuff that is not so great is also great in the cheesy, almost 80s movie kind of way. You're like, this is such a movie, but it's like
such a big budget blockbuster movie. Yes.
Yeah. But you don't care because it's like the movie is winking at you like, hey, we're a fucking movie.
Yes.
It's okay.
Right. And I really liked Christoph Waltz in it. I like the girl who plays Alita in it.
Yep.
They could have done more with the villain.
The weak boyfriend.
The boyfriend, yeah.
I mean, that lets you know where I'm at, is that the action in Alita is fucking insane.
It is amazing. It really is. And by the way, I'm pissed because they just broke the news on this one that they're not IMAXing the Blu-ray on this. So it's that's a little tragedy. We have real tragedies in life. What are we doing? Like, what are they fucking doing in the world? It's just fucking stupid. Assholes.
I mean, there's a part of me that really thinks that the reason that they don't put IMAX on a lot of these movies is because IMAX doesn't want you to have the experience at home.
Or it just costs more money.
That too.
It
I
takes
really don't.
more time.
I do know that the Alita Blu-ray sales are phenomenal.
Are they?
They're really good.
Nice.
People are thinking they're actually is a chance for a sequel based on how well it's doing so
Well,
far
hey,
on Blu-ray.
fuck them then. All these people are buying the Blu-ray. They're all excited. They're like, oh man, I can't wait to see that full screen fucking rollerblade thing.
I like
The
how you found a way
rollerball.
to turn it into a negative.
Yeah, fuck them. Assholes. And then they went and shit on everybody's birthday cake. All those people are going to put it in. They're going to be like, oh, this part. And then they're going to be like, oh, wait, it's not nearly as cool as it. Wait, what's different about this?
Get a bigger TV.
Even if you do, though, you're missing,
You're
man.
not wrong. You're
Yeah,
not wrong.
it's,
I have a pretty nice TV, but yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this. The experience that the filmmakers intended for one to have on the home video release, you should try to get as close to that experience as you can.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
fuck them. But yeah, that's my 2. And your 2?
That is my number 2.
So my number 1 is Hotel Mumbai.
Okay.
This was just,
It's a
mean,
gut-wrenching movie.
it's so good.
It's really fucking
And
good.
by the way, these can all change by the end of
Right.
the year.
Yeah.
But no, I was thinking about like sitting in the theater, which movie had me the most on like the edge of my seat and engaged in what was happening.
Right.
Like which one achieved its goal with the most obvious, the success. And I think it was Hotel Mumbai. I mean, I was on pins and fucking needles, man.
It's a very, I don't know what else to call it other than gut-wrenching. It's an emotional roller coaster where most of, you don't get like the highs of oh, he gets the girl.
No.
But you get some real lows.
You get some real lows, but it doesn't end like for it to have been as awful as it was as far as what was happening, and for the fact that there weren't like fakey feeling bullshit scenes at the end, for it to feel as positive and leave off on as positive of a note as it did,
Right.
without like sacrificing what it really is, which is this negative, horrible story,
Right.
was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Like
It's
it tugs at
absolute-
your heartstrings in you're grateful and happy for some of the characters way at the end.
I mean, it's a movie that I would actually say is a tearjerker.
Agreed.
At the end.
100% agree.
My number 1 is Avengers Endgame.
Shill. Can we just make a theme song? Marvel Shill theme song?
Well, considering I'm the one who makes the theme songs, that's a big no.
Someone send in a theme song.
That's all right. I don't have to put it in the show.
Maybe I'll make a theme song.
All right.
It's going to be awful.
Okay.
Terribly produced.
All right.
But yes, why is Avengers Endgame your favorite movie so far this year?
I would say it's one of the most emotional experiences in the theater this year.
I would agree.
The action is great. It feels like, I really like the fact that it's one unified movie, but it actually feels like 3 because each act is a very distinct tone, but they don't break the overall tone of the movie.
Okay.
Everybody puts in good, solid performances. The action's amazing. The payoff is incredibly impressive for something that's been going for 10, 11 years. It's just a great experience.
It was.
I
I would agree.
I don't think it's really weird to have this be like my number 1 right now. Well, it's not weird now, but it'll be weird at the end of the year because I might have 2 years in a row where my number 1 movie is a Marvel movie, which does not happen every year, despite what some people may think.
Sure, Alex.
Despite what some people may think, it does not happen every year.
I mean, it's their 2 biggest fucking movies ever, though.
It's the ones that, I mean, they've been elevating themselves for years, but it's the ones that elevated themselves in the cultural zeitgeist to a new stratosphere. It's crazy.
It is rather fucking insane.
I mean, yeah. Anyways, I don't need to go on about it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with it as a number 1.
I mean,
I really can't.
And I think there's something that people should take note of, which is we have 3 of our top 5 are the same movies.
Yeah, that's true.
There are a lot. I mean, there are some really good movies out there, but these are pretty universal. So if you haven't seen
Hollywood sucks, Alex. All they do
is
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. It's a callback to a conversation I had online.
Well, it's funny because I didn't even get to talk about, like, I really liked Cold Pursuit.
Yeah.
Like, there's some other shit out there that
there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I liked Long Shot a lot.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
We just snuck in an extra
honorable mention. Yeah.
Breaking all the rules. But yeah. Well, that's all I have.
That's all we have this week.
And next week, we promise we will have your Lion King review, unless I die in a fiery plane crash.
Right. And Jackson will finally not be a virgin.
Jesus. That's pretty good.